In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what is going on in the Vancouver real estate market, Greater Vancouver, Lower Mainland, whatever you want to call it, in 8 slides. This will not be your average generic market report with numbers that have no relevance to where you are buying or selling. We're going to jump into the specifics of each area with color-coded maps so you can see exactly what is going on where you live. The one thing I will tell you, depending on location, property type, and price range, the markets vary drastically, city by city, across the Lower Mainland, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, what's going on? Mark Parsons here with eXp Realty. If you're someone that is interested in learning everything Vancouver, Canada, especially real estate related, make sure to click the subscribe button and tap that notification bell right next to it so you get notified every time we upload a brand new video about Vancouver and the surrounding areas here on the channel. Honestly, we get dozens and dozens of people reaching out about buying and selling in the Greater Vancouver area and the Fraser Valley, and we absolutely love it. If you're planning to sell your property, reach out and we can dive deep into the numbers in your area, price range, the numbers that matter to you, and show you what it takes to get a top dollar sale. If you don't reach out, we can't help. It's what we do on a daily basis. So if you're looking to move, relocate, or just want to come hang out, make sure that you reach out. If you have any questions or comments, comment below. I respond to 100% of my YouTube comments. I will leave some links in the description as well as our contact info and a link to book a Zoom call for a one-on-one at a time of your convenience if Zoom is your preference. Just know that we have your back and we want to take care of you, but if you don't reach out, we can't help. Hey guys, Mark Parsons here with eXp Realty, back with your monthly real estate market update where we look back at the previous month to see what has happened in the real estate market across the cities, across the Lower Mainland. I've updated the graphics that I'm using in this presentation to help increase the level of understanding for everybody who's watching. So let's hop right into it. As always, we're going to start very macro, looking at the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. Then we will jump into the specific cities. So what we're looking at here, as many of you may have seen from my previous updates, we're looking at the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver for detached homes. What this is measuring is the supply and the demand. Now, you guys may have seen this graph before. It measures the supply and demand, so inventory in the blue versus sales in the orange. So when you take the ratio of inventory versus your sales, you get what's called an absorption rate, which is the line in the red. That ratio is how we measure if we are in a seller's market, a buyer's market, or a balanced market, which is very important to know if you want to know if prices are going to have pressure upwards or downwards or likely to remain stable. Now, in the past, I've only used this graph alone, but now what I've done is I've taken the price graph of detached homes in the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver over the exact same timeline. So this will be January 2018, and this will be all the way to October 2021. And what you can see here is if we look back into 2018, the market dipped down into what would have been a buyer's market for detached homes in the Greater Vancouver area. And with that, you can see that prices did take their dips. In a balanced market, we can see it kind of found its way here. It goes up and down, of course, and but kind of in a flat way. And as we have broken out into a seller's market for a sustained period of time, each one of these lines represents a month. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe about a year and a half in a sustained seller's market where we have watched prices continue to go up. Now, as we saw the pressure come off of the market, even though we remained in a seller's market, we did see prices kind of dip down for a few months there as they came back up. So I'm going to go through the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver, detached homes, condos, townhomes, then Fraser Valley. Then we'll get into specific instances. So this now we're looking at the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board, which has shown the same sort of price trend, but up until up until the pandemic, up until kind of mid 2020, it did remain very, very flat on average prices. And you can see why. If we understand the absorption rate and the supply and demand, you can really see when there's going to be pressure on prices or when there will be pressure off of prices. So if you're working with a real estate agent, you really want to make sure that they are referencing this data and going over this data with you so everyone is on the same level playing field. And as you can see, it dipped down into a balanced market. That would have been in May of 2018 and slightly touching in a buyer's, but typically here we remained in a balanced market for all this time here. And you can see that prices remained relatively stable. And then as it broke up into a seller's market and has continued, I mean, big dips here, which you see the dip there, it's still well into a seller's market. And this is where we've had the trends up. So that's detached homes for Fraser Valley. And then we're looking at, again, condos and townhomes for Greater Vancouver, again, from 2018 to present. And again, you can, once you understand how to read these graphs, the absorption rate and the supply and the demand, whether prices are going up and down, sometimes government intervention will have can have an effect, but it really at the end of the day will always fall back to supply and demand. And again, prices were relatively stable here during this period. We can see it because we can tell where the absorption rate is, you know, if we're in a seller's market or balanced market based on the inventory and the sales. And then as it started to break out of that, I mean, it did take some time. It doesn't always go right unison, but eventually it broke up as it was coming down here. It's kind of flat, but you can see the trend there. So that's condos and townhomes for Greater Vancouver. This is what it looked like for detached homes. Typically, condos and townhomes will trail behind that, but in this run of sellers market, townhomes have kind of been in between detached homes and condos and townhomes and not really running with them. So now we get to Fraser Valley condos and townhomes. And again, guys, as the absorption rate remained here, prices remained relatively stable. It came off in the beginning of 2018, came off a very strong seller's market in the Fraser Valley for condos and townhomes. And then it cooled off there as inventory came on the market and sales remained relatively stable down here. So now we're going to get into city by city. We're looking at detached homes across Greater Vancouver, measuring whether they're in a buyer's market or a seller's market. So again, what we're looking at here is a snapshot of this graph just for October 21. This is us looking at it over 3 years, so we understand the power that it has on prices. And now we're going to see where are we right now in October 21, market for market. So this is measuring monthly variances from September 21 to October 21. And how we're looking at this, guys, I've kind of got it hot and cold, okay, or hot and cold. So anything that is in the red here has less than 1 month of inventory on the market. This is absolute high pressure for buyers out there. Anything in the orange has between 1 and 2 months of inventory. I made a mistake on New Westminster. That was supposed to be orange. So you can see the hottest markets last month are the ones that sellers had the greatest advantage were Pitt Meadows, Maple Ridge, and Cloverdale. Then in the orange is less than 2 months of inventory, guys. Less than 2 months of inventory is still extreme pressure on buyers. Then when we come to the yellow is where we've got a little bit over 2 months of inventory on the market, say between 2, 3, 4 months of inventory on the market, depending on the area. And then in West Vancouver and West Side Vancouver, which are, you know, higher priced markets there, they are actually in balanced markets. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that if we flip back to a graph like this, what we're seeing is Pitt Meadows, Cloverdale, and Maple Ridge are way up here. West Vancouver and west side of Vancouver are actually in between these yellow lines here. And then all of the orange and the yellow make up what comes in here. The point that I'm trying to make, guys, is depending on where you are buying or what type of property you are buying, Fraser Valley Board real estate statistics or Greater Vancouver Real Estate Board statistics, they literally mean nothing, especially if you're in the market buying or selling. If you are not buying or selling, but you're just interested in the general trends of the market, then of course they have their value there. But the point that I'm making is you can see how different the markets are across the Lower Mainland. So if you're looking to buy or sell and you need some guidance or some insight, because even if we took Maple Ridge, guys, and we dove in deeper and looked at all the neighborhoods, it would also look like this, where some areas are hotter than others. Okay, so I don't dive into the city neighborhood level, although I do with my clients when they're looking to buy or sell in a specific area. But for this video, we don't go deeper than the cities. So that's detached homes month over month across the Lower Mainland. And so this is detached annual price variances. And what you're seeing here, guys, again, when we say prices are up or prices are down across the Lower Mainland, it varies depending on what market you're in and what property types that you're looking at, what price points you're at. So this is why I've color coded it. And again, guys, the anything, let's start here. Okay, so anything in the green is between 0 and 10%. Prices up year over year. So we've got Westside Vancouver up 7%. Anything in the yellow, and you can see the more expensive has had the not as much of a spike. If we look back just this 1 year here, and then you can see it gets hotter and hotter as it goes out, or, prices have had a more significant impact. It's more affordable real estate. That's where the rush has been going to. So 7% year over year for Westside Vancouver. In the yellow here, we're between 10 and 20%, from Burnaby at 12% to Ladner at 16%. Price increases year over year. Then we get to the orange. The orange is between 20 and 30%. Price increase year over year. These are unsustainable price increases, guys. It's absolutely bananas out there. And as you can see, this is just in the middle. So Tawasin, North Vancouver, Port Moody, Coquitlam, and Mission were between 20 and 30% year over year price increases on detached homes. Then anything in the red is between 30 and 40%. I can't even believe that these are the numbers that I'm talking about when we're actually talking about annual prices. Port Coquitlam, Maple Ridge, Surrey, Cloverdale, and South Surrey for detached annual prices year over year were between 30 and 40%. And this maroon here, guys, I mean, this should never happen year over year. It's absolutely absurd. But Pitt Meadows, North Delta, Langley, and Abbotsford are showing over 40% or above price increase year over year for detached homes. So now we're going to get into attached, which is your condos and townhomes. And again, now we're looking at the monthly variances. So when we're looking month over month, we're looking at the absorption rate. Is it a buyer's market? It is a seller's market. Is it a balanced market? So year over year, we're looking at this graph, which is prices. And again, we're just looking at the snapshot of it. And then monthly, we're looking at the snapshot of this graph. Where are we in terms of absorption rate? Are we in a buyer's market or seller's market? So when we come to attached here, month over month, are we in a buyer's market, a seller's market, a balanced market? Anything in the yellow, let's see. So starting at anything in the red has less than 1 month of inventory on the market. This means multiple offers left, right, and center. Very aggressive offers. Buyers lose now. Very, very, very tough for buyers. We got Mission, Port Coquitlam, Pitt Meadows, Abbotsford, Cloverdale, and Ladner for attached, meaning condos and townhomes. There was less than 1 month of inventory on the market. Then we get to the orange, which is between 1 and 2 months of inventory, guys, which is still extremely tough for buyers. It's considered a seller's market up to 5 months of inventory on the market, give or take. So Langley, North Delta, Surrey, New Westminster, Port Moody, Coquitlam, North Vancouver, Richmond, Tawasin, all had all had between 1 and 2 months of inventory. So, and just to give you an idea, guys, so in the red here, so this is attached. This is condos and townhomes month over month. If we come back here and look at condos and townhomes, in the red is above 100%. In the orange is between 50 and 100%. So that's in between here. So there's some the markets that are up here, some that are in the middle, because this is where we are right now. And so the ones that are orange are between 50 and 100%. And I mean, you can see when it gets up here, what's happening to prices. So if some of these markets have their absorption rate up here, what do you think is happening to their local prices? It's not going to run in unison with every city. Certain ones are going to pop more than others, and that's just how it is. So coming back here, the orange is between 50 and 100%, which means less than 2 months of inventory. And then the yellow here is more than 2 months of inventory. With downtown Vancouver, the most expensive real estate for condos and townhomes, it's at 23%, which is actually still a seller's market, just slightly in a seller's market. But in Vancouver, in the Greater Vancouver Area, a market that's at 23% absorption rate versus something like Pitt Meadows that's at 177%. This would feel like a buyer's market. The sellers would hear about all the multiple offers and things selling so fast over here and wondering why it's not happening immediately for them. And again, guys, this is why I reinforce, when you're looking to buy or sell a property, you need to be working with a realtor that can explain this, so you go in with proper expectations, whether you're buying or selling. The markets are not the same from city to city, even from when you get into a city, from neighborhood to neighborhood, or property type to property type, or different price point ranges. It's as simple as that. So now let's look over attached annual variances. So this is price increases year over year from October 2020 to October 21. And let's see what we have here. So anything in the green is from 1 to 10% increase. So West Vancouver's up 1% year over year. And some of them had their spike earlier on. North Vancouver says down 17%. But again, guys, whenever I'm looking at prices, this is a snapshot year over year, but I'll always look at it on a graph like this, because you can see if month for month it went down like this and then up, it's not, and then up again. It's not really telling the true story if you're looking here when it came off of this. You want to have context. The reason I say that is North Vancouver says negative 7%, but last month it was plus 17. So you can see there's a balance there. Now, how does this happen? This happens if, let's say, a month you have a lot of, let's say, very high-end, high-priced properties sell, and then when you compare that year and then 1 year later that month, it can throw it off, right? So if a ton of luxury sold in this month here, and then 1 year later you're comparing the average prices, which is just all the inventory sold divided by the number, it can tweak it off. And that's why whenever we see anomalies, if I was sitting down with a client in North Vancouver, I wouldn't say, oh, not good for you, prices are down 7%. I would dive deeper and pull out the graph so we can get context on what's actually going on. So again, in the green is between 1 and 10% increase year over year. Even 10% year over year increases incredibly healthy and borderlining unsustainable year over year increases. But yet in Vancouver or Greater Vancouver, we're dealing with stuff that's just out of the stratosphere. So in the green is between 0 and or 1 and 10% increase year over year on prices. You've got Coquitlam, Maple Ridge there. And sorry, in the blue, North Vancouver, we've got prices down 7%, North Delta down 1%, Ladner down 9%. Again, guys, if you were buying or selling in this area, I would be sitting down and peeling the onion back, if you will, or pulling, looking behind the curtain. To really see the context there, because based on the activity in the market, I highly doubt the prices are actually down in those areas. I think if you looked on a price graph, it would be something where you have a jump down in the middle, but it's really on an upward trend there. So let's keep going. In the yellow is between 10 and 20%. So we've got East Vancouver, Port Moody, Port Coquitlam. Prices are up between 10 and 20%. In the orange, Richmond, Pitt Meadows, Mission, Tawasin, they're between 20 and 30%. I made a mistake here on Richmond. That one should have been yellow because it's up 13%. And then in the red, we have Cloverdale and Langley up 32% and up 38%. So you can see trends here, guys. If I'm looking to see trends, number one, first, it's going to happen in the detached. So in the detached, in terms of prices up, you see a lot darker, a lot more orange, red, and even this dark maroon, which means prices are substantially up. And then when we come to attached, it's not the same. It looks different colors, but I can tell you when it starts to max out and people are pushing past their budgets on the detached home, just as it did when we had the run up in 2015, 16, 17, it started with detached homes and then it looked right back at condos and townhomes and it started to happen there. And we're already starting to see that shift. Does that mean that prices are going to drop in detached homes? No, but it does mean that likely we will not see year-over-year increases like this. It will be going up at a much more sustainable pace, but there will be rushes to condos and townhomes, which we are starting to see right now. If we just look right here and look at the absorption rate, like this is strong sellers markets across if we just look at the orange and red for condos and townhomes, that means less than 2 months of inventory. If that is sustained for, let's say, a 3-month period or more, and it likely already was last month as well, then we will start to see these pressure on prices. It's just how it is, guys. Anyway, it's 18 minutes here. I try to keep them shorter than 20. If you have any questions at all, let me know. I hope this gives you some perspective, but the point that I'm trying to make is when you're getting these general statistics here, when you dive deep like this, you will notice that when it says it's here, some markets are up here, some markets are down here, and some are all over the place. If you're looking to buy or sell, you really need to be working with somebody who can navigate, who can help you navigate and understand what type of market you're in so you have proper expectations and you can plan accordingly to get your goals accomplished, whether that's selling for top dollar or winning in a multiple offer. That's it for today, guys. See you next month. Okay, guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. Now you have a clear bird's eye view of what is happening in the Vancouver real estate market across the Lower Mainland. For the time being, in most markets, sellers have an unsustainable advantage. For buyers, I know it's tough out there, but be persistent. Those who are buying now will certainly have a property that is worth more a year from now. If you're planning to sell your property, reach out and we can dive deep into the numbers in your area, the numbers that matter to you, and show you what it takes to get a top dollar sale. If you don't reach out, we can't help. If you're somebody that is looking to buy or sell within the Greater Vancouver area or relocate from outside the area, I'm going to go ahead and leave all of our contact information in the description below, as well as a link to book a Zoom call at a time of your convenience. Send us an email, shoot us a text, give us a call, because if you're making a move, we have your back. We have you covered, and we absolutely love doing it. It's what we do every single day. It's what we're good at, and if you don't reach out, we can't help. So with all that being said, my name is Mark Parsons with eXp Realty. I'm from the Greater Vancouver area. If you have any questions at all, let us know in the comments below. I respond to 100% of the YouTube comments, and we will see you on the next video.